This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
It's an interesting night, to say the least. There's even a guitar on a pole match with you and Nathan Jones. And you're saying Vince Russo was not involved in this.
Correct.
Okay. Just busting balls. So here's the show that night at the Sydney Superdome. I guess before we run through the card, what do you remember about the pay-per-view? I mean, I know these days you're involved with Fight. You got your finger on the pulse of all things pay-per-view. What was your involvement with the pay-per-view in this era? And is this something that he just said, don't worry about it, Jeff, I got it?
So to start with your last statement, don't worry about it, I got it. I truly believed in that on production wise. That was his ball of wax. You know, he's from Australia, got all the resources. We're going to get it done. We're in charge of talent, you know, commentators, backstage. That was our role. But my old buddy Rove, who I'm still very good buddies with, for those who don't know who Rove is, he, you know, I'll call him like a Jimmy Fallon. He had not a nightly, but once a week show on Channel 9. He's a comedian, a stand-up comedian, we'll say by trade, but now he's, you know, executive producer. He's great on camera, off camera. He's a jack of all trades, master of a lot of them as well. But Rove, I love him for this. He is a true wrestling fan, and him and McManus, however they had the relationship, he wanted a guitar shot. So Conrad, you know me. How do we make a guitar shot happen? Let's put a guitar on a pole match. I don't recall that exact situation, but look, who is the most natural for Rove to be in the corner of?
Yes.
Australia's own Nathan Jones. On pay-per-view, it was a selling point. And, you know, to go back on it, which is a big part, you know, in this day and age, and this is something that we'll call it all the wrestling journalists, the pay-per-view buy industry in 2001, coming off the Attitude Era, where both companies were doing a pay-per-view a month. Our good buddy at 83 Weeks transitioned in, what was that, 95? Yeah, because that spurred the In Your House, you know, once a month. So a pay-per-view a month, lots and lots of pay-per-view buys. Vince was, again, ahead of his time and pioneered that from closed circuit to pay-per-view and just putting that content out. So wrestling was, from a mindset, was the pay-per-view industry. So Andrew, I know, wanted to, you know, we'll call it cash in or make up, or, you know, it was a part of his plan that we will do. You know, I remember him saying, we're going to do quarterly pay-per-views, or he didn't really know the model, and I didn't either, what was going to work, but he wanted to do a pay-per-view, and he had high hopes, and we did as well, that, okay, we can run this tour, and if we're moderately successful, but do just okay in the pay-per-view world, okay, it's a sustainable model. And so that was the mindset of doing a pay-per-view. Still to this day, I'm not real sure why we went to the enormous arena. It's cavernous. It is a really big venue, but again, that's where he wanted to go. And you know, not that was quote unquote the wrestling building, because there wasn't a wrestling building in Australia at that time, but it's where he wanted to go. So Rove and Nathan and the WWA, I mean, it was a big deal, and he did a massive amount of press, as I recall, for the show.
Yeah, the Sydney Superdome is where the show goes down. I mean, the capacity here is like 21,000. There's 8,500 fans here. So to say it was a disaster is not totally accurate. 8,500 is a big deal. I mean, just a few years ago, a whole promotion was launched on can we sell 10,000 tickets? So this is not that bad.
No.
And I do want to mention that Bret Hart is in the commissioner role here. I don't want everybody to think he's just randomly there. As you mentioned, Lawler and Borash are the commentators. The referee, they probably remember from WCW, Slick Johnson. What a great name that is. Let's talk about the matches, though. We've got a Cruiserweight Championship here. It's a ladder match, Juventud over Psychosis. So not only is Hoovy back in Australia, he's the champ, baby. First round of the tournament to crown a new champion, Road Dogg over Conan in 3 minutes and 42 seconds. They do a hardcore match with Smiley over Devin Storm. Shout out to Devin, who I know listens. And then there is a first round battle royal. And boy, this is hard to pin down, but everybody's in here and everybody agrees it was fun. There's even non-wrestlers, but Buff Bagwell's here, Disco Inferno, Norman Smiley, Crowbar, Stevie Ray, the commentators, both Lawler and Borash, Slick Johnson, a cameraman, another referee, a woman in a gold dress, security guards, and I think a couple of folks who they referred to as Banana in a Pajama 1 and 2. It's a silly battle royal, but fans seem to dig it, and it did take a lot of time, 6 minutes and 24 seconds. And then we get you and Nathan Jones in that guitar on a pole match. And then it's time for a semifinal 3-way for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's Road Dogg beating Lodi and Lenny. And then another lumberjack match. We can't just have a regular match here. So there's a lumberjack match with straps with Jeff Jarrett and Buff Bagwell. Of course, Jeff goes over. Hardcore rules. It's husband versus wife, Vampire Warrior versus Luna Vachon. This is all on pay-per-view, by the way. And a 4-way women's match where I think it's like a let's strip their clothes off match. And you've got Adara James beating Queen Bee and Sharon A and Violet, whoever these folks are. And then in the main event, it's a cage match. Yes, another gimmick match. Jeff Jarrett beats the Road Dogg, and by God, Jeff Jarrett is our WWA champion. What a show.
What a show. What a damn show. The battle royal. Let's go back to that. Because, a lot of times, why are you chuckling on that? Look, as you know, I was born and raised on Jerry, the King Lawler, and he can be, as a Monday Night Raw watcher is well aware of, great comedic timing.
Yes.
But he was a very serious wrestler. Jackie Fargo, the same. Very serious. One of the best serious promos I ever, in my opinion, ranks right up here at the top. But he had.
Let my family save your family some cash. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket, but we will save you money. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of how much. SaveWithConrad.com.
A ton of comedy in him as well. So I think comedy in the right spots is completely underestimated in this day and age. It can be overdone though. But Pajama 1 and Pajama 2, were really big deals in Australia. It's like the Wiggles, but Pajama 1 and Pajama 2 were big deals. And so I got a sidebar here. Can I sidebar here for a minute?
Please do.
Because to this day, Glenn Gilbernetti, however Conan wants to pronounce his name, but to this day, Disco and me still say this line to each other to this day. So me, Jeremy, and Glenn take a trip to Memphis during the summer of No Worries to just get away and let's just freestyle, as Conrad likes to say, and just talk about all kinds of talent. At that time, I feel like, we would have, if we're talking about Banana 1 and Banana 2. So we'd sort of got marching orders from Andrew. We want gimmick matches and we want a lot of entertainment and we got to keep the budget low and the flight. So we more or less have maybe we went, 2 weeks before the tour, whatever it may be. We had our marching orders. So let's put the shows together. So we're down there and Jeremy, to this day, I still laugh about it, but Jeremy and Disco, they got sidebarred and we're talking about this battle royal. And, you just said it, a cameraman and this guy, but it's the comedy relief. Self-deprecating. The whole show was comedy relief, but not really. But no. So as we're going through everything and telling the ins and the outs and, hey, Lawler, look, he can come up from the announce table and whatever it was, we're laying out this and they keep saying, oh no, we'll listen. No, forget the Pajama 1 or Banana 1 and Banana 2. Forget all that. So that goes on like 10 minutes. And finally, Conrad, I'm there and we're probably having a couple of, we were at Chili's in one of those high top tables.
You had a triple play and some
beer. So, but there was a moment when I said, come on, guys, please focus on the bananas. And they both looked over at me and said, can you repeat what you just said? And I said, and I was, the old Jeff, I was wound up. I said, and I was dead serious, guys, dadgummit, focus on the bananas. And then they chuckled again. And then I was like, okay, guys, we've got to lay this match out. Andrew wants the bananas. They're a really big deal. We got to make it make sense. How are we going to get them in? How are we going to get them out? But anyway, that's my sidebar. To this day, Disco will tell me, Jeff, focus on the bananas.
That's hilarious.
Oh, you had to be there, but we chuckled.
Your pay-per-view event, I mean, it's not the last night of the tour. You still got one more show. We're going to talk about it. But when it's all over, it's done. You're the champ. We're going off the air. You've wrestled. There's been this crazy battle royal. You've had a guitar on a pole match. You've had a lumberjack match with straps, and now a cage match. Are you pleased? Is Andrew pleased?
Andrew's very pleased. He, as crazy as it may sound, he sort of saw, okay, I'm going to give these guys my wishes and wants and Brett and bananas and all this kind of stuff. But okay, I sort of see where this is going. We can entertain the people, the people that came to the shows. And like you said, 8,500, you look, we all know what that reality is. That's damn good. And we definitely the last days of WCW and the crowds they were put, and that's with $1 billion organization behind them. So 8,500 is a lot of tickets sold. Andrew's happy. Of course, we didn't know anything about buy rates or anything like that. But the people that were in the arena every night enjoyed it. That was something that, and I'll say this, JB and Disco and myself and the crew and the talent, and obviously Lawler every night would have his influence, sometimes a lot, sometimes a little. That's just how Jerry's always worked. But the shows were entertaining and the people felt like they got their money's worth, and Andrew was happy, for sure, very happy.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.